Hello, hello. Hey, welcome. Welcome, you guys, to this very special final masterclass as part of the Wield Your Sensitive Superpowers for Impact and Profit Masterclass series. I really wanted to do a different, spontaneous, special wrap up because it's been an incredible 2 weeks. And I also have been receiving and asking for a lot of your questions, especially, if we could sit down and you could ask me any question, what would it be? And that was in order to kind of co-create a special masterclass with you so that I could answer some of those questions coming forth. And what I have today for you are some answers to some of the questions. And we are going to be talking about the secrets to sensitively expand your life and biz. This is the You Asked, I'm Answering Masterclass, and thank you for joining me. And before we get into the secrets today, what I really want to do is I want to spend a few moments in gratitude and send out my gratitude, first of all, to all of the amazing guests, all of the amazing experts and influencers that we had who just generously shared their wisdom with us. Over the last 2 weeks, we have been learning from 27 beautiful humans who have really given us so much to take away. So let's just spend a minute in gratitude for those people who generously shared their gifts so that we are activated and we're the ones carrying up, picking up that torch and going out into the world and sharing our gifts with other people as well. So let's do just a minute of a silent thank you to all of those experts, influencers, our special guests who took time to share their wisdom with us and really had so much to give. I thank all of them from the bottom of my heart for everything that they brought into this masterclass series. It was a phenomenal experience, and I know I am going to keep watching all of those masterclasses over and over and over and over again because they really do have so much in there that you could take away every single time. And the second thing I want to do is to share my gratitude with you, the viewers, those of you who have, whether you've caught one masterclass or you've caught 10 or you've caught them all, there was a lot. And I want to share my thanks to you for taking that time out of your life, for saying that little yes, whatever it was, to that nudge that said, this feels important. I want to learn here. I want to grow here. I want to thank you for saying yes to yourself. It's really important that we say yes to ourselves and that we thank ourselves for all the growth and all the steps that we take. So thank you. Thank you for joining into this masterclass series, joining the Bravery Lab if you did, just coming into the world of 5 sites, and for being you, I have to thank you for being you. Well. Are we ready to get into some answers today, some secrets today? Yes, we are. I love that you are playing along with me. Like I said, this is experimental. And that is one of the things we get to do as creative people, as people, especially, creative, co-creating in the world. Let's get into our stuff today. Okay, so if you are just joining, welcome again. Welcome to this live masterclass that I have put together based on some of the questions that I have received during this masterclass series. Now, I couldn't get to answering all of the questions today. That is just something I will have to continue doing in other ways, but there are a few questions that came forward today that I felt all really kind of related to each other. And so that's what we're going to cover today. This is the You Asked, I'm Answering Masterclass. So some of the things that we're going to talk about today are how you can stop holding back, how you can release and use your powers without changing careers. So for example, if you're a highly sensitive person, if you're an empathic person, if you have, some of these superpowers within you, how can you expand on those without shifting careers? The question came in, it looks like everybody was, jumping into entrepreneurship, starting their own business. How can I use my powers if maybe I don't want to start my own business? Maybe I just want to be more me and expand my superpowers and be in full appreciation of those and use of those without completely turning the ship. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about how choosing what to pursue and staying with your soul purpose can be easier, and how to have a business, stay focused, improve it, and work it like a highly sensitive person can. Give me a little woo woo and say hello in the comments. We are streaming to my Facebook page, The Bravery Lab, and YouTube. Unfortunately, I cannot see names. All you come up as when you comment is Facebook user, but I appreciate you being here. So thank you so much for saying hello anyway. Okay, so all of these topics actually all interrelate to each other. And I am going to frame my answers to these questions to really give you an inside look at the foundations of how we can be a person, a highly sensitive person, an empath, going about our lives, our businesses, and really living out the answers to these questions. And it comes down to, first of all, these pillars: having your soul on fire, head clear in a vision, and feet on the ground. When we have these things fully activated, we are able to manifest who we are and what we want to do in the world with a lot more ease. Now, the thing that happens is that when we are having questions, when we're having, difficulty clarifying, when we're having difficulty activating our powers, when we are holding back, it can have something to do with one of these areas, one of these pillars, not being fully activated, or something about it that hasn't been fully explored, right? In order to really activate something, we gotta explore it. This all comes down to ourselves too. This especially comes down to ourselves, our self-exploration, our self-knowledge, our embodiment. And so these are really, really important pillars. And I'm going to take you through just kind of expanding on some of these pillars to have a little exploration and give you some answers about why you might be holding back, because that is a common problem, and how you can release and use your powers without changing careers. All of these things, all of these questions relate to some of these pillars, especially, what to pursue, staying with your soul purpose, and how to make it easier. So let's think about, head clear in a vision. Having your head clear, right? What does that mean? What does it mean to have clarity about what your powers are, what your gifts are, the gifts that you can bring to the table in your career, or the things that you want to not be holding back on anymore? Having a clear vision, right, gets to be problematic sometimes when we are in fear, when we actually have some subconscious things going on, some limiting beliefs going on that obscure our ability to be clear. Now, stay with me here. The ego has a really interesting way of preventing clarity when it is afraid of what it's stepping into. So I see a lot of people, and this happened to me too, where I actually knew what I wanted to do. I knew what some of my powers were. I knew I could be doing more. I could stop holding back. I could choose to pursue my purpose and stick with it. I knew all these things. And yet there was this element of convincing myself that I wasn't clear enough yet. I didn't know enough yet. I wasn't clear. I didn't really know. That was all like ego stepping in and trying to protect me. And this often happens to people with big visions who actually know their power deep down within themselves, And what can happen is we get this this circular thing happening where we convince ourselves we're not actually clear, we don't actually know, and so we don't move forward. And when we're not moving forward, this really impacts our soul on fire. When we're not moving forward, when we're not taking action, that soul fire within us that wants to be lit up, that wants to be bigger in the world, that gets an impact on that. So here's that interesting interconnection, right? Choosing your soul purpose, for example, how to choose what to pursue and staying with your soul purpose. How do we make that easier? Well, part of it is, making sure that we are taking care of our soul, investing into those areas of our lives that are going to light up our soul. But then it also has to do with taking action. Taking action means having feet on the ground, having some kind of structure, some kind of way we organize our time and our energy in order to allow us the things that set our soul on fire, right? The discoveries, the classes, the personal development, the spiritual pursuits, spending time in nature, being able to take, and invest into things of interest to us that light our soul on fire. That happens when we have feet on the ground. Feet on the ground as in we have a good command, a healthy command of our masculine energy that allows us that organization, that allows us that structure, that life-affirming structure, those steps, those strategic foot in front of the other kind of steps, because it all then works together, right? Without having our soul on fire, without having our feet on the ground, without having our head clear in a vision, then we end up in stagnation. We end up not taking action, which then just perpetuates the cycle of not knowing, not being clear, holding back, right? Holding back. When we are no longer holding back, when we decide, okay, I'm just going to take action on this, I'm going to go forward, then we get to through our actions, we actually get to clarify what we are up to, how we feel about something, how we see something, how we create something. We get to clarify our purpose, our work, our body of work, and clarify exactly what our powers are. So, for example, going back to this question of how, if I don't want to change careers, but I want to elevate my career, I want to be more me, I want to use my powers, maybe I want to lead something at work, I want to take my employees in a new direction. Well, guess what? That is going to happen through taking action. So, taking action, feet on the ground, helps us get into momentum to run the experiments, we need to run in order to clarify and see for ourselves what works and what doesn't, what I like, what I don't like, where I'm actually really powerful that I didn't know before because I never tried to do the thing, but now I know. This is where we get clarity. This is where we start to strengthen our vision. And when we have our vision strengthened, our soul gets even more lit on fire. And then we put more investment into feet on the ground to making this a reality. So let me know, if you are watching, how this lands with you. Do you see the interconnection between these three pillars? And do you see how each one has their own specific energy, their own specific purpose, and their own way they need to be activated, each piece of this gets to be activated and work in like I almost want to say a symbiotic relationship. Is that the word? Symbiotic? An interconnected way. All right. Here is another set of pillars. Another equally important set of pillars for highly sensitive and empathic humans to stop holding back, to release their powers, to pursue and choose and pursue their purpose and pursue it in an easier way, and how to have a business stay focused, improve it, and work it like a highly sensitive person can. These pillars are related to the ones we just went through. So, when I was talking about soul on fire and that aspect of who we are being activated and who we are and our gifts, this has a lot to do with trust. And this says trust your empathy. But what I really mean is trusting all of your empathic, intuitive gifts and wisdom and who you are and the knowledge that you're able to channel through, you're tapping into when you create that sacred space for yourself to tap into it. So trusting your empathy really means trusting your intuition, trusting the messages that come through, those sacred downloads that I know a lot of you have. Trusting this, right? The knowledge that we have to give, trusting that it's okay for us to receive it, trusting that it's okay for us to create income from it is a huge, huge piece of how to have a business stay focused, improve it, and work it, how to choose your purpose, how you can stop holding back. When we are outside of the trust of our knowledge and our gifts and trusting that we are worthy to receive and trusting that the income we can create from it is allowed, that we have permission, that it's actually a beautiful gift to yourself and the world. Outside of that trust, that's going to start to collapse. It's going to start to collapse your soul fire, start to collapse your vision. So these pillars are interrelated to each other, and they're also related to the three that we just went through. Trusting your empathy. But the question is, how do you get that trust, right? It's so easy to say, oh, just trust. And I know because I went through a whole process of figuring out, well, how exactly do I trust? Everyone says just trust. Well, it's not that easy. It's not just that easy to flip the switch sometimes. So where does it come from? Where do we build our practice of trusting? Notice I use the word practice, the practice of trusting. The practice of trusting is a daily habit. It's a daily commitment to invest into your trust muscle, to build your trust muscle, keep it strong, just like you would if you went to the gym and you wanted to be doing weightlifting to get those cute biceps or whatever. So where does this come into play? How do we create that time? We need to have the care for your energy pillar. Caring for your energy. Caring for your energy, if you are a highly sensitive or empathic human, is a priority. It is not something that can be maybe I'll do. It has to be I get to do and I will do. Caring for your energy. What does that mean? It means space. It means creating sacred space, rest, renewal, putting yourselves in places or services in the hands of someone else who may clear your energy for you. You see, a lot of this work we can do ourselves, but a lot of it we're not meant to do because we are meant to, also allow other people to show up in their gifts. So for example, part of my energy care is actually going for bioenergy healing. I have someone work on me and I go for massages, and that's part of my energy care. What else do? I create sacred time every day, sacred space, quiet space to breathe, and to receive my own energy. Caring for your energy means being in your own energy in different ways. We have different energy levels. Sometimes we show up to be online, to be visible, to share our gifts. That takes a certain energy. We get to be in that energy, share that vibration. And we also get to be in our space, in private, in sacred space, and just be with our own energy, to be embodied in that quiet energy, that self-love, that compassion. So those are some elements about caring for your energy. If you are not caring for your energy, well, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for you to have that trust. It's going to be tough for you to have that soul on fire and that clarity of vision, so you can stop holding back, so you can choose what to pursue. So much of trusting our empathy and being clear in our vision has to do with caring for our energy. So how do we do that, right? What do we say to ourselves? What do we do if we're saying to ourselves, I don't have time? Gee, it sounds great. I'd love to. Would love to take care of my energy. I don't have time. Well, this is where we have strategized for efficiencies. So again, this element of feet on the ground. What does strategizing for efficiencies mean? It means having very intentional, life-affirming ways we keep ourselves organized, keep ourselves strategized, keep ourselves intentional, with the most efficient ways of thinking, doing, creating, and yes, caring for our energy. So take a walk with me here and just kind of think about, to be efficient, right? To be efficient in our business, to stay focused, improve it, to be efficient with how we're exploring and activating our purpose. There are ways that we get to do and be in the world that serve us to be really a lot more quickly and quick and efficient with our internal processes, our thinking, our designing, and even caring for our energy. When we organize our time, we are able to dedicate the necessary space in our lives in order to, take care of our energy, in order to be in our visionary work, to be in our business. But sometimes we don't really know good ways of organizing our time. Or, for example, sometimes we don't know good ways of organizing our ideas. We have so many ideas as highly sensitive people, and the methods, quite frankly, that we used, that we were taught in school, that we were not taught, the things we were taught and the things we weren't taught really have an impact here for strategizing for efficiencies. Some of the things we were taught about how to organize our time feel so militant and feel so confining that we run away from it. But then we get ourselves in a situation where we have no organization, no structure whatsoever. It's so fluid that it's like a fast-moving river that is always carrying us off into multiple directions, which we know that doesn't serve either. So we need that balance. We need that balance of a way to be efficient, to be strategic, but not in a way that is so militant and so confining that we end up rebelling. We end up rebelling and not really finding our way forward with that. But you guys, when we have those strategies to be efficient, and even for efficient things for caring for our energy, guess what? You don't need to spend 2 hours in meditation. You can if you want, but you don't need to. You don't need to spend enormous amounts of time caring for your energy and then have no time left for your business or for your career when you have efficient ways of caring for your energy. And there's certain practices and there's certain things that we can do that really rapidly infuse our self and restore our energy and raise it to a high vibration that are really, really efficient. So for example, in yesterday's masterclass, I gave away my 10-minute peace and surety meditation. That is a 10-minute meditation that is very quick, it gets very deep, and it changes your vibration in a very efficient way. There's things like that, and there's more of those up my sleeve that really help us to be efficient with our energy and the rest of our life, because we do need to get things done. But we can do them in a way that doesn't force us to hustle, but also doesn't leave us flailing around in so much fluidity that we have no direction at all. So having these things in place, you guys, really will help you to stop holding back. When we trust our empathy and we have our life organized in a life-affirming way and we're caring for our energy, we set ourselves up to be fully expressed in the world, to take risks that we need to take, to run the experiments that we get to run in order to discover what our vision and what our body of work really is. When we have these things in place, the trusting your empathy, care for your energy, and let's see, can I go? Oh, I was going to talk through each one, but I already did that. And when we have these things, head clear in a vision, soul on fire, feet on the ground, manifesting what we want, our purpose, staying with it, choosing, feels easier. So these 6 pillars go together. So let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if this makes sense. If there's anything on here that you would love to know more about, that you're struggling with. I'm going to take a quick sip of water, restore my voice here. All right, so we talked through each of those already. But in the end, you guys, what we get to do is we get to honor different ways of being and doing. As we have heard continuously throughout this masterclass series, it's the reason why I put this whole masterclass series together, is to honor the fact that highly sensitive humans and empaths are different. We get to embrace that difference and really celebrate it. And that also means we get to implement that right through the core of our life in every way. We get to honor different ways of being and doing everywhere, different ways of parenting, different ways of running a business, different ways of being spiritual, different ways of being strategic, different ways of being friends, in relationships and friendships. We get to honor that. And this leads to really choosing your guides wisely. So I know there's a lot of, oh my goodness, there's a lot of advice out there. There's a lot of people sharing their advice from their life experience, from, who they are. But I think one of the reasons why I wanted to do this masterclass series is because there's a large portion of us who are highly sensitive entrepreneurs and empaths in life and business and careers. We've really kind of been underserved. So we need to start choosing and following and staying close to the guides that can help us embrace who we are and live those and honor those different ways of being and doing that work for us. And we can also be the creators of those ways, right? Make bold choices in who you want to be. You get to make bold choices in who you want to be. And that does mean taking risks. That means being open to change. That means being open to doing things differently than we may have learned in the past. It may mean that we get to be pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone. Because when we stay stuck in our comfort zone, that is when things really start to stagnate. And as we know, being a highly sensitive person or empath, we do not do well with stagnation or boredom. We like to be challenged. We really do like to be challenged. Imagine what it would be like if you took all that energy that you have of feeling sort of burdened by your challenges and flipped it into excitement of setting yourself up for healthy challenges. border breaking challenges, evolutionary challenges that serve you. So I'll leave you with that, you guys, today. Make bold choices in who you want to be. This has been I should put myself back on the screen here. Make bold choices in your technology. Thank you so much, all of you who have joined this masterclass live today. If you have any more questions, be sure to drop them in the comments. I'm always open to emails, love getting emails, have been getting some reach outs by a few people that I will definitely be happy to answer. This has been an amazing 2 weeks, and I hope you have enjoyed what I put together. I know I have really enjoyed seeing you, meeting you, hearing from you, and there is so much to be grateful for, so much to be thankful for, so much to honor in this whole experience and honor in your life. And thank you for inviting me into your life, into your experience. And I hope that we can walk together forward in multiple ways, especially into 2022. This is going to be a special year. And hopefully this series has infused you with a lot of amazing takeaways and a lot of energy and a lot of inspiration that you are going to move forward with to make bold choices in who you are, make bold choices for your 2022. That's all from me today. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.